Knowledge is power.
Blood calls to blood.
Hey guys, GGNG here with another Dota 2 video. In this one, I'm going to be showing you guys how to jungle with Bloodseeker. Now the reason why we're putting Bloodseeker in the jungle is because he can farm the jungle very fast. If you follow this guide, you'll get a 5.5 minute phase boots, quelling blade, and PMS, along with another 200 or 300 gold to build into your next item. This is not something that should be attempted every game, but it works pretty well most games. Now for starting items, we're going to get a quelling blade, a stout shield, and a slippers of agility. The stout shield is pretty self-explanatory, and the slippers of agility is just to give us a little extra damage and to build into our poor man's shield. The quelling blade is to allow us to cut down these trees over here, which will let us choke point jungle. Now if you don't know what choke point jungling is, it's basically standing in a place where only one creep can hit you at a time. This will really help us tank the camps properly and not really put us in danger of dying while jungling. You may have also noticed that I didn't get any regeneration. That's because Bloodrage is more than enough to sustain us if we choke point jungle properly. Now at the 0 second mark, we check the rune, and if it's a good rune and our supports don't need it, we can take it to help us jungle faster, but I'm just going to assume that we can't get the rune. Okay, so now we're just going to wait over here for the creeps to spawn. If you weren't paying attention to the trees I cut down earlier in the video, I suggest rewinding and watching again, as cutting down the correct trees is important for getting a good choke point jungle. If you mess up your choke point, you will fail your jungle and you'll probably be useless for the next like 6 minutes. Okay, so now that the creeps have spawned, we're going to do the medium camp first always. The reason we're doing the medium camp is that we're going to try to stack it at 55 so that we can get level 2 for the hard camp, or else it's going to be really difficult for us to kill the hard camp. So at 55 we're going to stack to the left. You never want to stack upwards as it's going to waste a lot of time because you have to walk back down. Stacking to the left is just much more efficient. Alright, so when we're actually doing the camps, we're going to blood rage ourselves for extra damage, and we want to make sure to get the last hit on the creep while we're blood raged, as that is how we sustain ourselves in the jungle. You can either blood rage yourself or the creep that you're hitting. It doesn't really matter too much, since we're going to be choke point jungling. You don't have to worry about the extra damage you take. You can see here that I'm actually tanking both the ogres, and that's completely fine because it is an ogre camp and it's pretty low DPS. The ogre camps, the satyr camps, and the mud-golem camps are all camps that you can just straight up tank without choke point jungling, and you'll pretty much be full HP after you finish them. You definitely want to choke point jungle the wolf camps, centaur camps, and all hard camps though, as they do a lot of damage. I've taken Bloodright at level 2. You can take either Thirst or Bloodright. The jungling speed is pretty much the same. I just like taking Bloodright at level 2 because it allows you to cast Bloodright on both the medium and hard camps at the same time and deal pretty good AoE damage. I've done runs with both max Thirst and max Bloodright. They're pretty much the same speed, and it all depends on what hero lineup you're facing, whether you need the damage and movement speed from Thirst in the mid game or the silence and nuke damage from Bloodright in the mid game. So just build your skill build according to what heroes you're facing. Another good thing to do is to send yourself your poor man shield and your phase boots components as soon as you have the gold for it. Obviously you don't want to take away the courier from your mid laner or your safe laner, so just coordinate the courier usage and try to make as few trips as possible. So I basically covered all the basics of jungling with Bloodseeker. All you really need to do is rotate between these 3 camps, the 2 hard camps and that medium camp, and stack the medium camp whenever possible, cast Bloodright whenever it's up, and make sure that you're blood rage when you're killing creeps, and you should get a decent timing. So I'm just going to fast forward the replay and we'll see my timing for level 6, and we'll look at my farm when I get level 6 as well. Alright, so I'm level 6, it's about 5 minutes and 30 seconds in. I have phase boots, poor man shield, quelling blade, and 200 gold. So my farm is actually really good. You would get this farm probably in a safe lane, dual lane, if the offlaner was able to contest you a little bit, and you definitely wouldn't be this high leveled. So farming in the jungle is actually pretty efficient if you can get away with it. Now I'm going to show you guys the dire side jungle, and I'll talk a little bit about how to play Bloodseeker once you are done farming in the jungle. Alright, so now we're on the dire side. We're going to cut down this tree over here for the choke point, and we're going to cut down a path between the two medium camps for a second choke point. It's basically the same concept as on the Radiant side, except you're rotating between a hard camp and two medium camps instead of two hard camps and one medium camp. The jungling is actually slightly faster on Dire than it is on Radiant. Usually get level 6 around 5:10. I've had some games where you get level 6 at like around 4:40, but that only happens if you get really lucky with your spawns. Alright, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about what to do once you're level 6. Obviously it's nice to have all this early game farming experience, but if you don't utilize it properly, it's not really worth it to jungle. So once you're level 6, you usually want to gank a lane with Rupture. It doesn't really matter which lane, mid lane is ideal, but even using Rupture on the offlaner to secure a kill is pretty good. Your whole goal as Bloodseeker is basically to snowball off your ganks and maintain a lead over your opponents. I'm not really going to go into gameplay and item choices, as this is more of a jungle guide and not how to play Bloodseeker, though I can make a guide if people really want that. I will say though that I think Blade Mail is super good on Bloodseeker, as the Bloodrage does amplify the return damage, so anyone who hits you with Blade Mail on is actually doing more damage to themselves than they are to you, which is pretty OP. Alright, that's it for now. I hope you guys liked the video, and let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below, and if you've tried this in your own games, let me know how it went. I do have winter break for the next month or so expect a lot more videos as I will have a lot of free time. I have a few really cool videos and guides planned out, and hopefully I'll be able to pump them out at a decent rate. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.